Have you ever wondered why a cursor is shaped like an arrow? Like, why is that the weapon of choice? Why not a sword or a gun? I guess some guy in a computer lab picked it decades ago, and now the entire world is just stuck with it. Anyways, so the other day I was working on my game, and I noticed my cursor is kinda small. I mean, don't get me wrong, all sizes matter. But for a game that involves a lot of clicking, I think a big cursor is essential for a pleasurable experience. Well, I was just using the default Windows cursor, and the easiest way to make the cursor bigger is to just go into the Windows setting and turn up the mouse pointer size. Yeah, you know what? This big black cursor is already looking way better than before. There's one problem though. My game can't change your Windows setting. I mean, I'm not trying to make a virus here. Or maybe I am secretly making a virus disguised as a game and all my players will get infected. Jokes aside, I decided to ditch the default Windows cursor and make my own custom cursor in Unity. And it turns out, it is not as straightforward as I thought. I booted up my pixel art program and got to work on some custom cursors. At first, I wanted to recreate the Windows cursor but bigger. I feel like the default look didn't really work out for me, so I played around a bit and settled on this design. I added some shading just to keep it consistent with the look of the game. I then realized that bigger is better, and bumped up the size a little bit more. And I liked how it looked at this point, so I moved on to the next cursor. This one is supposed to look like a pointing hand. It tells you when you're hovering over something clickable. Did you know the subscribe button is clickable? Try hovering over it. And, just click it while you're there. Anyways, the hand was pretty straightforward to do, so I just added some shading and moved on to the last cursor. Apparently this one is called the I-beam, and it shows you where you can input text. I started with a simple design that resembled the Windows I-beam. But then I realized that girth matters as much as size, so I increased the thickness. I then created an even girthier version just to compare which one would look better, and immediately decided to go with the thicker one. At this point, I feel pretty good about my 3 cursors, so I exported them to the Unity game engine. Apparently you can change the cursor with one line of code in Unity. It sounds pretty simple, so I gave it a try. Wait, what the f? So after some digging, I couldn't really get it to work. The cursor always looked blurry and squished for some reason, and I found out somewhere in the documentation that my code was actually messing with the cursor at the hardware level. Look, I took an operating system class in college, and the only thing I learned about hardware is that it is hard. So I had no intention of wrestling with the operating system stuff anymore, but luckily I had a backup plan. You see, I can just put my cursor drawing on the screen and have it move with the default cursor, and hide the actual default cursor. After some quick code, it worked flawlessly. As you can see, the cursor is nice and big, and now I just need to detect when it is over a clickable thing. So I added a few lines of code, and now when I move my cursor into the checkbox, the game detects it. The last thing I had to do was actually swap out the cursor when it moves over a clickable thing. And there it is. And let's pretend that this blue thing is an input box so we can take a look at that girthy I-beam again. So yeah, I finally got the big cursors I wanted. It's okay, default Windows cursor. There's nothing wrong with being small. I'm sure there are people who are into it. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.